Does Google AdWords really drive those sales? Maybe we'll get those sales without AdWords. I think our email/SEO is our growth driver. Let's not invest more budget in AdWords. If these are the types of conversations you're having at work, you're struggling with how to prove the incremental value of your media buying. Not having the clarity of how each channel is driving incremental or long-term revenue can hold you back from scaling your sales rapidly. In this video, we're going to discuss 4 methods of tracking incremental lift and how to use them effectively. The concern that many executives have that AdWords is cannibalizing sales can often be valid. In fact, many companies end up overpaying on SEM and other channels, especially when they bid on brand terms or remarketing, as they don't quantify how much of that business would have come to them anyways if they weren't advertising. This issue is especially problematic if you're doing remarketing and affiliate advertising, as they often can cannibalize sales from SEM, email, and other channels. The truth is, the challenge is even more complex, because a customer journey is not linear. One customer may have a need for your product, type in your domain, and purchase the product, while others may interact with your brand through multiple channels before finally buying. The more complex of a business you are, the more you have to worry about fractional incremental lift. What fractional incremental lift means is that we understand that a customer may interact with multiple touch points. And therefore, when we do have a sale that comes in, we need to give the relevant credit for each of the interactions they had with our brand so that we know how much incremental lift, fractional incremental lift, that customer has already driven. The challenge is that most analytics tools, especially Google Analytics and the ilk, track the last interaction. So they only do last click attribution. Even when they track other interactions using attribution modeling tools, it's often hard to see the cause and effect. Which channel drove the lift and which one simply shows a lot of heavy engagement because they have a pre-engaged customer, but they're not actually adding value. Cough, cough, remarketing, cough, cough, affiliate advertising. That being said, there are a number of solutions ranging from the easy to the complex to resolve many of these issues and concerns without either investing hundreds of thousands of dollars or months of time or doing a lot of crazy work. The 4 methods are as follows. Google Analytics custom variables for new customers. Google AdWords paid search versus organic insights. So AdWords has a great tool to share with you the incremental clicks coming from paid ads when paid and organic is there. Seeing what the drop in revenue is by DMA if you stop a specific advertising channel in those specific DMAs. And then lastly is using attribution modeling tools, which could be a good match for specific businesses. The above 4 methods can benefit you the most if you have other channels beyond search that are currently delivering strong returns. If you're positioned very well in SEO, if you have a high amount of recurring revenue from existing customers, if you spend over $10,000 a month on paid search, or if you struggle with quantifying how much of the revenue is incremental and how much of your AdWords revenue is coming from other channels or recurring customers. Using Google Analytics custom variables is a great way to track how many new to file customers you have. So basically what you do is you use your shopping cart to track whether a customer is logged in and they are a previous customer, whether a purchase has occurred and that purchase is coming from a previous customer, and you use a custom dimension in the universal analytics or a custom variable in the old analytics. And you pass that back into analytics. And you can then create custom reports to show you how spend is broken out by customers versus existing customers. And so you can see how much of your spend is really dedicated towards driving incremental visitors and incremental sales versus just taking your existing customer base and either cannibalizing or pushing them to actually buy. Google AdWords paid search versus organic results. Google has actually been cognizant of some of these concerns as they came up in they were high in mind share among advertisers a couple of years ago. Somehow they've mysteriously died. But Google actually went ahead and created a report within AdWords that breaks down that either if you tie in your Merchant Center and your AdWords accounts, you can actually see how many incremental clicks are coming from your paid ads versus your organic, and how much cannibalization is happening. According to Google's data, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, about 89% of clicks when you have an SEO rankings there as well are incremental. This is really interesting. So method number 3 is testing absolute incremental lift by setting DMAs against each other. In 2011 to 2013, there was an ongoing conversation surrounding how much incremental value PPC really supplied. Google did a case study back in 2011 showing that 89% of ad clicks are incremental. They looked at paused AdWords accounts, and looked at, for those AdWords accounts, period over period where they were showing versus where they weren't showing, seeing what the drop in clicks were. eBay did a much more interesting test, which is what this strategy is. It's taking from the test methodology from eBay. So what they did is they selected a number of DMAs where they paused advertising. So they had a control group of DMAs that advertising was continuing to go to. They had a control group of DMAs where they just paused the advertising completely, and then looked at the difference, the drop period over period between the DMAs, and the overall drop in revenue period over period between the DMAs that continued advertising versus the DMAs where they paused advertising. What they found was that there was a lot less incremental lift than justified their ad spend. And they basically, some of their researchers put out a huge case study that basically said that AdWords doesn't drive incremental lift, specifically for eBay. Now that created a lot of drama. I'm personally of the opinion, I agree with Larry Kim of WordStream, that based on our experience competing with eBay in many markets, eBay did a really crappy job of building out campaigns. So the truth was, yes, for eBay, their incremental lift was very low, simply because their campaigns weren't built very well. That being said, the test methodology that eBay did use was really, really solid. If you get to a point where your new to file tracking strategy and your incremental lift in organic traffic doesn't show executive management, does not convince everybody that AdWords is a great place to go, your next step is creating an effective test to see hey, maybe we should pause everything. And going for the hey, maybe we should pause everything, use this DMA test where you select a number of DMAs where you just drop advertising, and then you run reporting on those and see what the difference is in overall revenue when you do that. And that can allow you to figure out what the real increase in incremental revenues is from your advertising. The last thing is attribution modeling tools. This is the expensive and the high-end route, and it's not simple just because it's expensive. It's actually more complex. Attribution modeling tools promise to deliver on that challenge of fractional credit, fractional incremental revenue. The issue that we've seen is that it's just a tool. So many advertisers still don't have clarity even after using these tools, as some sites, some channels that seem like they're driving a lot of engagement clearly are not adding incremental revenue. So the tool is valuable because it gives you the tracking. However, you will suffer with being able to cross-reference order IDs, etc. I would definitely not recommend the built-in attribution modeling tool from Google Analytics. It's pretty bad. As we've mentioned, some of the paid tools in this segment are Convertro Odometry. A number of the higher end web analytics tools also do, or bid management tools also include some attribution modeling capabilities, and those could be useful for you. We typically recommend them when you have complex customer acquisition channels. So customers are typically interacting 3 to 12 times before buying, or it's a long sales cycle. It takes not just a couple of days or a week to make a decision. It's a couple of weeks. The attribution modeling tools start really helping you understand how to balance your media and bidding at the upper level as well as the lower level. At Global SEM Partners, our mission is to help companies use SEM to profitably and scalably grow your business. We have a number of services slash engagement models to help you if you need help understanding your attribution modeling or how different channels are impacting each other or justifying the investment. We do external consultations where we just come in, help you clean up, drive direction on the executive or on the lower level, audit what you're currently doing, or work with your team. We also have full service PPC and channel management. We have business analysts that do all of our work, so everything's done from a big picture level, but we also know a lot of the deep strategies and tactics. We also have a very powerful data management platform to manage all of the different shopping engines, marketplaces, etc. Unlike many other platforms where they focus on the tool, we really focus on the people behind it and making sure that you have the strategies and tactics available to really grow your sales. So next steps, you can either contact us via the link below, or you can download. We have a really cool white paper, five steps to doubling your e-commerce in 2015 or whatever year it is when you watch this video. We definitely recommend that you download it. It provides some interesting ideas beyond just attribution modeling that can help you really scale and grow your business.